big right hand. Oh, that's it.
Oh, my.
Hard right hand. Taylor in trouble. Oh, but that.
You're going to see some of the wildest performances in women's combat sports history.
Let me fight her. Oh, big right hand.
This is the peak of violence within the ring and cage. And trust us, you'll see some KOs here that will genuinely shock you.
Atkins is reluctant to come out of her corner. Hey, left of 1-2.
This is Fighting is Art. And here we go. Veronica Macedo, who now goes by Veronica Hardy, after marrying former UFC welterweight Dan Hardy, scored one hell of a highlight reel finish in this one. If you've watched Macedo fight before, you'll know her technical striking is at the forefront of everything she does well. At first, gauging her opponent's timing was front and center in her mind.
There's something.
And Veronica was reading her like a book. So, naturally, it didn't take long for her to find an opening for the kill shot. Holly Holm versus Alana Jones. Holly Holm's transition from world-class boxing champion to MMA star was a huge success. And just before she found her way to the UFC, she was already showcasing a developing game.
On all the feints and fakes, she is moving and getting out of the way enough, but good distance.
As a veteran boxer, Holm's control of distance was already excellent.
Very athletic. She grew up playing basketball and running track. She weighed over 200 pounds when she first started training.
But the most surprising thing about her MMA transition was how masterful her kicking game became.
MMA just to lose the weight. Now she's a professional fighter. Holmes, big high kick.
Most of that looked like it was off the hand. But
And though her opponent didn't know it yet, she was being walked into a trap.
clip her, I think.
I think it sounded louder than it really was.
And before she knew what had happened, Holm's kick was striking her on the side of the head like a baseball bat.
Didn't do much to hurt Jones. Oh, but that one does! It is all over! Holly Holm!
Savannah Marshall versus Femke Hermans. When Savannah the Silent Assassin Marshall took on Femke Herman, the fans had a good idea of which way this fight should go.
Trying to see what way Herman's is going to react. But she knows plenty.
These ladies were both pretty willing to engage in a firefight.
Working for radio, and you're targeting her. Black, white, and gold of Femke Hermans from Belgium, who's really...
But Marshall was very clearly the aggressor in this bout, and her power advantage was becoming clear.
Going for this hit. Can be a bit flat-footed, and if she's open to one of those...
Then finally, the moment came. A huge intercepting hook that ended this fight before anyone knew what the hell had happened.
Lost the balance of it. Femke Hermans.
A dominant win and a brutal finish.
Savannah Marshall!
Alicia Bombgardner versus Terry Harper. Terry Harper didn't know it just yet, but her title reign was about to come to a shocking end. Alicia Bombgardner might have been the challenger, but she was clearly the more confident fighter here.
For a boxer as she was then in only her 10th.
Harper tried to apply some pressure, but underestimated the power coming back at her.
Harper trying to get herself going, trying to build some momentum at the end of this. I don't know why she became world champion.
The difference lay in the fact that Bombgardner was more than capable of hurting Harper with her punches.
Solid shots again from Baldenova. Baldenova with the right hand over the top, and Harper is heard from Shannon Courtney, although Courtney had failed at the scales, and now another.
Harper just couldn't get her game going.
Through against Eva Wallstrom in this very ring.
Waiting all the time to sort of let it go.
And that exchange of jabs, Darren.
One shot from Bombgardner to the chin caused Harper to stiffen up and totally lose the ability to continue, like she was KO'd on her feet.
So a blemish appearing on the right down the waist of Harper at the end of this contest, but she walks onto her right hand and she stands virtually stock still in the center of the mat.
Ann Wolfe versus Vonda Ward. If you've never seen Ann Wolfe KO someone, boy, are you in for a shock. The undefeated Vonda Ward presented a tricky stylistic matchup due to her length.
Vonda, the All-American Girl Ward!
But as soon as the fight began, you could see that Wolfe was looking to take her opponent's head off.
Oh, nice left hook already by Ann Wolfe.
There was very noticeably an intimidating energy in the arena every time Wolfe walked forward.
That she threw that first right hand, and there's another one backing Vonda up. And I think when Vonda, like I said, gets hit.
One thing was becoming clear. Wolfe was getting closer.
Goes to the Coliseum.
You got to swing one of those overhand rights way over, like trying to do there, and Wolfe.
When the moment came, it was insanely violent.
15 knockouts, but how many people were scared of her and did not really fight her?
Oh, big right hand! One punch!
That's one of the most terrifying women to ever walk this planet.
Wow! Unbelievable. Let's hope.
Anyone watching Emily Ducot's clash with Danielle Taylor likely had no idea what they were about to witness. In one swift moment, Ducot found the perfect opening.
It was like she shut down that avenue.
Oh, hard right hand! Taylor in trouble!
And you could tell that she clearly realized that she had done something special.
It is done! Emily Ducot knocks out Danielle Taylor!
Holly Holm is a legend of combat sports, no doubt about it. But in there with Sophie Matthysse, she got run over. There was simply way too much power coming back at her. For some bizarre reason, the ref was not convinced that Holly had taken enough punishment and sent her back out there. And that went just about as badly as you might expect. Despite losing in such violent fashion, Holm got straight back to work and rematched Matthysse just 5 months later, beating her on the scorecards.
His history, Holm won all three judges' scorecards, 99-91, 97-93, and 96-94.
Santiso Estrada versus Miranda Atkins. The unbeaten Miranda Atkins might have seemed like a worthy contender for Santiso Estrada, but unfortunately, this couldn't be any further from the truth. There was very clearly only one of these fighters who stood a chance of winning.
107.8 pounds. Tonight, she steps into the ring perfect. 18 bouts, 18 victories, including 7 huge wins by...
Little did we know just how destructive this performance would be.
All right, ladies, I've been over the rules with you both. You're professionals. I expect you to conduct yourself as such. Touch gloves. Good luck.
A first-round KO seemed like the most likely outcome.
And that's the reason I think...
This was as destructive a one-sided mauling as you will ever see inside a boxing ring.
Estrada should end this quickly.
Atkins reluctant to come out of her corner. 8 left of 1, 2, 3, 4.
Selena Barios versus Aida Baldenova. Aida Baldenova was in a tough spot against Selena Barios. Aida's lack of balance and defensive awareness looked like it was going to be a problem.
She hasn't really got a good stance. She's always off balance and throwing her shots. All her shots are off balance.
Yeah, jawbreaker, you've knocked out.
The longer the fight went on, the more it became clear that Barios had absolutely nothing to fear from her opponent.
Seems like she doesn't have the oomph to knock her out in a one punch, which is what she needs right now.
A lot of times you don't need oomph. A lot of times you just...
Trading in the pocket like this was always going to be a bad idea for Aida.
How she's going to do that?
Yeah, Selena continues to land combinations. Salty Baldenova still swinging, still hanging in.
But you never know.
And eventually, the moment of truth finally came.
What could happen? But
oh, that's it. That's it. Oh, my God.
All I do is.
Oh, my God, it's over.
A huge statement victory, that's for sure. Blanchfield versus Victoria Leonardo. She might be known best for her wrestling, but Blanchfield showcased a very different side to her game in this bout. Blanchfield was clearly feeling confident on the feet in this one, and one huge head kick scored her a big knockdown.
By way of submission stoppage.
Her skills on the ground were never in doubt, but Leonardo was not going down without a fight.
Crush her down, Aaron. Drive your hips to the floor.
She's doing a really good job of controlling the position and not getting too high over Leonardo's head.
Her opponent was clearly resilient, fighting her way back to her feet before long.
Going for that single leg. Oh, going for the back herself.
Credit to Victoria Leonardo for taking some punishment and still hanging tough and trying to get offensive here.
By the end of the round, they were back to trading at range, which was seemingly where Leonardo preferred it, or so she thought. Blanchfield hadn't forgotten her huge moment in round one, and sure enough, that very same strike was right there for her once again.
And really set up that big right hand. She's got a lot of power.
Valentina Chevchenko's run as a kickboxer was just as impressive as you might expect. Her timing was truly a beautiful thing to behold. And you can tell that her opponent did not see this shot coming. It was clear that Chevchenko was destined to become a star. Little did we know just how exceptional she would become later in her career. If one thing was clear about the showdown between Christy Martin and Sabrina Hall, it's that they were there to throw down. The early tempo could only last for so long, though.
Hall can just get in there and decide, hey, I don't care who you are.
Martin has power, unlike most women her size. And boy, does she know how to use it.
One thing which sets Christy Martin apart from many of her competitors is her ability to throw a real left hook. And she follows up a left hook with a right cross.
That's a type of punch that would KO most men.
There to knock Hall onto her butt. 4, 5, 6.
There was no way she was ever going to get up from that.
Her face that seems to say, I'm not sure I've been hit like that before, and Kenny Bayless has seen it up. First round KO for the coal miner's daughter.
The woman who had the unfortunate task of welcoming Jessica Suarez to the pro ranks was Veronica Cruz. Cruz was very clearly looking forward to this one, brimming with confidence from the second she stepped into the ring.
The blue corner, wearing white trunks with red trim. She officially weighs in at 126 pounds, vistiendo pantaloncillo color blanco con rojo, con un peso idéntico de 100.
Based on body language alone, you can probably guess how this one is going to go. To say that Cruz started with some sloppy technical form would be putting it lightly.
To go round number 1 here at the Big Punch Arena. Jessica Suarez in the white shorts with red trunks, taking on Veronica Cruz in the red shorts with white trim.
Cruz wasn't afraid, that much was clear, although maybe she should have been.
And this being a women's fight, it is 2-minute rounds.
But once Suarez found her moment, she proceeded to easily beat the brakes off of her opponent, treating her like a punching bag.
Swinging for the fences. Good straight there, straight. Jessica sets him up. Cruz hunching over. The ref calls a stop to it.
Marianela Ramirez was out on a mission to make a statement against her opponent Natalia Alderete. Ramirez took a bulldog-like approach early, hunting her prey from the opening bell.
Veremos en manos de quien queda. Campana arranca la pelea. Recordamos que boxeo femenino son 2 minutos por 1 de descanso.
The reach disadvantage didn't seem to be bothering her in the slightest.
Para Natalia Alderete, que puntea con izquierda, la derecha bien arriba.
Caught in a corner like this is the last place you want to be with a shorter, more powerful opponent.
Camina de espaldas a las cuerdas, trata de no mantenerse en un lugar fijo. Combinan ahora con todo.
Eventually, standing up to the heat became too much.
El cuerpo a cuerpo le gusta a la Chila. Mete arriba. ¡Tremenda!
You can't criticize her for her bravery, but that's just about all we can say.
Es cuestión de encontrar un cruce, ¿eh?
¡Qué pelea, Leo!
Van al cambio de golpes. 30 segundos finales al piso.
Claressa Shields versus Nikki Adler. Was Nikki Adler ever going to be the fighter to get the better of Claressa Shields? Probably not. But she was a 16-0 fighter taking on Shields, who had only fought 3 times at pro level.
Like the men, protect yourselves all the time. And when you're touching gloves now, you're boxing the belt.
Despite technically being the less experienced fighter at pro level, Shields looked as comfortable as can be.
A hard, steady jab. Again, a good right hand straight up the middle.
Shields very clearly wanted to go out there and make a statement to the rest of the division.
She can throw punches all fight. She doesn't stop.
Starts out with a good combination. And right on top of Adler again. And Adler just showing no answer.
As the fight wore on, Adler seriously started to resemble a punching bag.
And that opens the gates for Shields to throw multiple punches via combination.
And look at it. Everything is right up the...
This was turning into a massacre, and it would only last as long as Adler could stay on her 2 feet.
That she thought Adler was slow, and Adler's too slow to counter.
Straight right hand once again drove Adler into the ropes.
This was a brutal display, and the ref had every right to step in as he did.
I mean, you see Adler cover up. That's a pickable. Oh.
Big left hand staggers her again. And this one is just about done.
Oh, referee's about to jump in.
One more is all it'll take.
Left hook's been the punch. Left hook.
That's it. It's over. Well stopped.
If the last KO we featured from her wasn't traumatizing enough, here comes some more Ann Wolf. Wolf does not hit like these other women.
This is when her knockouts come. Big right hand by Ann Wolf.
She's setting up that right hand with her jab.
Wolf started to tee off in the second, and with power like hers, you just can't let her do that.
There's a nice right hand by Wolf. Another one.
You simply cannot trade like with a puncher of Ann Wolf's capabilities.
Just letting them just wail on her. She's got a good chin.
Right now she is testing the chin and is hurt. Sheena Nicholas is battling back and getting whacked all over this ring here.
Once Wolf found her chin with the right punch, it pretty much destroyed her balance there and then.
Movement, powerful punches, speed to go along with it.
Yes, it was.
Oh, what a shot. And down goes Nicholas. And I don't know whether she'll be able to recover. She's up. Referee looking into her eyes.
And it's over.
And it is all over.
Jerry McKenzie says.
Milena Koleva probably had no idea what fate awaited her when she stepped in there with Caroline Dubois. And as you might have guessed, yes, this is the sister of heavyweight champ Daniel Dubois.
Kava, who's in her 26th golf in professional experience, but such a...
The boxing talent in this family is as clear as day.
Transferring away from a left to the right, banging those shots in. That was a good right hook. That lovely double jab. Oh, lovely 1-2 there as well.
Good jabs.
The speed of Dubois was really becoming an issue out there for Kava.
No, the hand speed of Dubois, the variety, switching the attack from body to head. Some of them down the middle, some of them up the middle, round the side. She's got good variety.
But in the end, it was a body shot that brought about her doom.
Comes back, she is getting through occasionally, it's just nothing to the take.
Body shot from Dubois. Really hurt by that one. This could be the second half, the finisher.
That's a fighter worth keeping an eye on, folks.
Something she's wanted since she was an 11-year-old girl, and she has the...
Rhiannon Dixon versus Vicky Wilkinson. The hotly tipped Rhiannon Dixon was all business when the time came to take on Vicky Wilkinson. Wilkinson's objective here was clearly to swarm Dixon whenever possible.
Errol Johnson in the corner of Wilkinson, really calling on her girl to get forward, close that gap.
But when Dixon sensed that her opponent was wilting, she stepped on the gas.
To the second half of the contest, applause from Anthony Crolla there in the corner from that left hand from Dixon.
The barrage that followed put Wilkinson down.
Lands that nice left hand right hook combination.
Yeah, she's having some success with the body shots here, Dixon. This is a good barrage of punches.
And Wilkinson was hurt by that right hook to the body and now goes.
To her credit, though, she did get back up to her feet.
Impressive start to the 6th round for Dixon. How can she build on this now?
Lovely
shot to the body once again, and Wilkinson grimaces in pain.
It was a valiant effort, but it didn't take long for Dixon to crack her once again.
Really hurting Wilkinson, and again, lovely shot.
Down for the second time in the round is Wilkinson. Will she beat the count this time? She's looking desperately pained on the canvas. She does rise.
Estrada versus Maria Santiso. More violence courtesy of Estrada comes to you next. Maria Santiso was game, sure, but there are levels to this sport.
Tiene su gran oportunidad de disputar un campeonato del mundo.
La guardia sí, lo que pasa es que Michio se cambia de guardia, pero se queda un poquito frontal.
Santino was having bigger and bigger reactions to Estrada's shots.
Pelear un poquito el combate, la guatemalteca, la aspirante, porque ahí está, qué valiente es, la imparable guatemalteca.
Eventually, it was all one-way traffic.
Se le van las piernas y le ha dado ventaja extra a María Micheo. Vamos a ver cómo reacciona, porque creo que Sinisa sube con el crochet de izquierda, que muchas veces lo prepara primero con una derecha al cuerpo y sube con el crochet.
And when the finish finally came, it should come as no surprise who scored it.
Sinisa Estrada porque se combate va a la distancia.
¡Oh! La cazó de contra. Le cazó de contra. Y el árbitro que ha parado, no ha querido correr riesgo.
Ebony Bridges versus Shannon O'Connell. How about this grueling fight between Ebony Bridges and Shannon O'Connell? Bridges came in here looking as we might expect, putting a heavy pace on her opponent with a punishing style.
Pressure, and I think it's the pace Bridges has set.
Oh, another big right hand from Bridges.
It really was a taxing fight, and both women deserve credit.
Real power in these shots from Ebony Bridges inside the last half a minute of the 4th round.
But it was clear that Bridges was the more fearsome opponent.
They're both throwing 1-2, 1-2, and there's whoever just... Oh, great work from Bridges here.
O'Connell trapped in the corner now. This is a big attack.
The pressure was clearly rising as the fight continued.
Heading towards the last half a minute of the 7th. Her corner imploring her to hold on.
Eventually, the barrage simply became too much for her to take, and the ref mercifully stopped her head from being bounced around like a basketball.
He's the keeper of shape, Bridges and O'Connell.
Scratching down and Howard Foster steps in.
Chelsea Anderson versus Hannah Turlepp. Hannah Turlepp had no shortage of confidence in there with the fearsome power puncher Chelsea Anderson, and she almost paid for it dearly in round 1.
Turlepp with a very fast jab.
Good combination by Turlepp.
Oh my goodness. Right on the butt, just sat her right.
It didn't take long until Anderson was basically landing at will.
Turlepp evades. Getting her feet back a little bit is Turlepp.
Headhunt right now.
She was really starting to beat her opponent up here.
Jumped over the top.
10 seconds left. Anderson able to answer nicely after.
Turlepp's toughness took her all the way to the final round.
Turlepp's not all there.
So much heart from both fighters.
But Anderson would not be denied her highlight reel KO.
Big right hand. Oh, that's it.
Oh my goodness.
That might be it. That's it. Knocked out in the 6th round.
Fought real.
Amanda Serrano versus Daniela Bermudez. Amanda Serrano doesn't go out there looking to lightly box from the outside. No, she's a killer at heart. And though her opponent Daniela Bermudez was game, she was in over her head. The precision and power of Serrano was clearly her biggest advantage here. And as the fight wore on, Bermudez was struggling to keep up. Serrano was in control at every single range.
There you go, let her come in and catch her. Drop it like it's hot, baby. There you go, go now,
By the time round 9 came, Serrano was in cruise control. One final flurry made it clear that Bermudez's body had taken enough damage.